If you live down Beckenham Way on the south side of London, bordering on Kent, this might just be a familiar sight. Emma Johns, former press officer of the BGRB, taking a retired Greyhound go-running whip on her daily travels. Whippy, as he's known, raced and won at Wimbledon and was owned by a syndicate of MPs and Emma herself.
As a syndicate dog, one person has to be responsible for him, and that was me. And I took it fairly seriously and fell in love with him really, and was walking him up in the kennels and saw all his races. And in the back of my mind, I always wanted to have him at home afterwards. But I had a cat, and basically I worked in London, every day, so it wasn't going to be easy. And circumstances changed, and I left work so that I'd be home for him, and we had him cat tested, and a year after he stopped racing, he came home.
Cat tested, what does that mean?
Cat tested, well, when you get your dog, and most people get them from the Retired Greyhound Trust kennels, some of them are obviously very, very keen, and some of them aren't. But the only way you can tell how a dog's going to react to a cat is to cat test them, which usually means a cat like mine that's it's quite stroppy and doesn't take any messing, and a dog being introduced under tight supervision in an office. To see whether the dog's very keen, disinterested, or even a bit scared of the cat. It's been a learning curve. We're taking things very slowly with the cat. But to be honest, from day one, he's been pretty scared of her. We walked in, cat lobbed him one, and that set the pecking order. So it's, cat, dog, me.
So obviously you were prepared to bring Whippy home. You obviously know all about the benefits of retired greyhounds. We go on this sort of break ranks. What are the worst things about having a retired greyhound as a pet?
I don't think there's anything bad about having a greyhound. I mean, it's the responsibility of having any dog. Greyhounds, if anything, there's more bonuses. He's very easy to house train. He's always very clean in his kennel. You don't get a lot of molting fur everywhere. He's a lovely big dog, so if I'm out and about up country, staying somewhere, and you're walking him through a town centre at night, even though he's a big softie, no one's gonna bother you. I suppose some of the annoying things are from other people. So there's so many people say to me, "Oh, was he rescued?" And I said, "Well, no, he retired. He wasn't rescued. He was only rescued in as much as rescued from having steak and a walk and doing what he loved every week."
So what about the practicalities of owning a greyhound? Say when you're going away on a long business trip or a holiday, is he easier to take to kennels?
Yeah, I think I get more upset than him, because he always seems so happy to go, because he goes back to the same place that he went to when he stopped racing, which is Alameda Kennels, and Chris and Debbie know him really well. He knows them, and he has his own kennel, and he's absolutely fine. I mean, when I go to pick him up, he stood there with his tail wagging around like a helicopter, so he's pleased to come home too. When I go on shorter trips, then he comes with me, and we stay in hotels, and we go up country, and he go in lifts, and really, he's a great dog like that, because he has to fit in with my life as well as me fitting in with him.
And that life now is as a freelance publicist, having spent a long time with the BGRB and being at the heart of greyhound politics.
Yeah, I've been there, coming on for about 6 years, and seen lots of changes, lots of people in and out. I love working with Lord Lipsey, had some really good times, and also did a lot of work on the Animal Welfare Bill before it became an act, so learned a lot about Westminster and Parliament and how that works or doesn't work. But really you have to sort of say, well, is that going to be for life, or am I going to do anything different? And although it sounds a bit crazy to some people, I really did want to have my dog at home. And it wasn't going to be compatible with all the will in the world with taking him into London every day and working in an office and working late and going racing afterwards. My background is working for the BBC, and before that working on newspapers. So you combine that with 5-6 years of PR and sort of lobbying experience. I thought, well, let's give it a go. Let's work for myself, work from home, have dog will travel. And to be honest, it's been hard work. It's been a bit scary at times, but it's really working. I've got some dog clients like the RGT running this show, because I want to keep in the sport. I love the sport, I love the dogs. And I've also got lots of what I call normal clients. So anything from a golf club to a heart surgeon to a fancy dress shop, all in the sort of borough of Bromley, that I work with maybe 1 or 2 days a month, that I do projects with, and that's come about with a lot of networking. My company's called Big Dog Media for obvious reasons. And wherever I work, you kind of get the message across about greyhounds too.
That afternoon, Emma and Whippy were off to Crayford, one of the tracks Emma helps with marketing ideas and press releases.
She's very good at helping us with our press releases and publicising the track, and she's very good at motivating us as well when we need a little bit of a push to get our stories out and out to the public out there.
Because it must be incessant work for you, day in, day out.
Certainly is, and we do get caught up in the day-to-day running of the track and what's going on a daily basis with bookings and customers. So she kind of focuses us back in on remembering that we've got to publicise and let people out there know what's going on.
So what's next on the agenda for Crayford's Diana and Emma?
Well, now we're looking forward to our 21st anniversary, which we're holding on the Bank Holiday Monday, the 27th of August. And we're going back to the 80s, so we're going to have a bit of fun with that. So everything's going to be at 80s prices, the restaurant's nice and cheap beer, and we're asking everyone to dress up, staff included.
And what will you be in, Alexis Colby from Dynasty?
Well, no, I've been elected to be Maggie Thatcher. I have the suit and I have the handbag, so I'm ready to go.
Back at home, Whippy is catching up with some of his old mates, on the dogs of course, while Emma and Snowy here are working behind the scenes on the Great Greyhound Gathering.
It's the first time the RGT's had a national show and hosted in Nottingham, which is fairly central, so we can get as many people from different branches there as possible. It's a Kennel Club registered dog show, and it's not just for greyhounds, although we want to obviously showcase the breed and raise awareness about greyhounds as pets as well. And it's going to be huge. We've had I've been sending off pet food manufacturers and getting free samples for doggy bags and trade stands, and working really closely with the 2 RGT branches up there. They've been a great help.
Give us all the important details, where and when.
It's at Colwick Park, it's at the horse race course, so big thanks to Jo Blake, who's the commercial manager there. She's actually got 2 ex-racers herself and a background in dog racing. She used to be the tote manageress at Wimbledon, so between her and Rachel Corden, the general manager at Nottingham Dog Track, they kind of came up with the idea themselves about maybe having a dog show, and then it just got bigger, and hey, if we're having a show, why not make it national? So it's grown from there. We've had really good coverage locally in all the trade press and in some of the dog press as well. I'm getting phone calls all the time from people wanting the show schedule and trade stands, so it should be a really good day. I mean, it's on the 22nd of September, and it's a Saturday. It's all day, registration from 10 o'clock, judging from 11 o'clock, and then in the evening at Nottingham Greyhound Stadium there's a big fundraising gala night for the Midlands RGT with sponsored races, parades of ex-racers. So it's going to be a bit of a whole weekend for me, setting up, and a big weekend for Whippy as well.